We are Rick and Karen Vogsberger, and we've been coming to Centerpoint for, I guess, a little over 12 years. Maybe a little bit longer than that before we got married. And then we have 5 children. We have Austin, Braden, Colin, Valerie, and Vincent. And they range between the ages of almost 5-year-old twins to 22 years old on the top side.
Well, since we've made our commitment at the Advanced Commitment Night, it's kind of been an incredible time of, again, seeing time and time again how God truly provides in the end when you step out in faith for Him and trust in Him to provide. So even the night of the Advanced Commitment Night, as a husband and wife, we tend to kind of communicate of that number that we had in mind of, okay, well, what's your number and what's your number? And in the past, we've had times where we've landed on the same number, but this time we were on different numbers. So we decided, well, let's meet in the middle with those 2 numbers. And we just wanted to put our trust and faith in Him that He will provide. And so then a few weeks goes by, and we got an offer on our home because we had to sell our home to move to another country. And when we got that offer, it was basically just neat to see that exactly 10% of that offer was what we had committed to give to Centerpoint. And for us, we kind of laughed at it because where it was scary to put that number in, we felt like God was like, continue to trust in me because I will continue to provide for you. And He did, and He does. And another amazing development was finding out about the family that put the offer on our home and bought our home. And basically, if you want to share about that.
Yeah, I mean, so, we didn't know anything about the family that was purchasing our home. So we go to closing and we just start talking, and the people that are buying the house, she made a comment, and she said, I just knew as I walked through this home, I could feel the love in the house, and I just knew that this is a house that I wanted to be in. And then when I found out you guys were going to be missionaries, I just knew that this was the house that we needed to buy. So essentially 17 years ago is when I had the house built before we were married. So we're sitting there talking with this complete stranger that, and then tells us that, hey, she had been a missionary for 17 years. So 17 years ago, we built this house, and they'd been a missionary for 17 years, and now we're buying a home. And how God orchestrated that was just incredible. We go to closing just expecting to sign this and initial that and kind of move on with our lives. And we're all sitting there. I mean, the realtors are crying, we're crying. It's just this crazy emotional journey. Because the reality is, even for us, as we think about, hey, we're going to move to the DR, there's a wrestle. We're wrestling with these ideas like, this is getting real. Like, we're selling our house. Is this what we should do? We don't have all of our support raised that we need in order to even move. But just being obedient to this is where God's leading us. And I just feel like He just revealed Himself so much and was like, I've got a missionary moving into your house, and I've got a missionary moving out of this house. And I've got this under control. Even though for Centerpoint, there's here's when we started the unfinished initiative, or here's when we started the unfinished journey, I think God has been amazingly clear to us, looking back, is that our unfinished journey, probably with everybody, started a long time ago. Because all of us are unfinished. And the thing that I walk away with now and I look at is the reality that I'm just blown away that God chooses to use us because I feel so unworthy.
I would say, to encourage anyone out there through the unfinished journey, I feel like I'm reminded time and time again of the story of Moses and the burning bush. And when he stood there in front of God and said, I can't do this, and who am I? And why would you want me to be a part of this? Whether it's because you feel like you're not, like Rick had shared, worthy enough, or you're too broken. God is like, I am that I am, and I want to use you, and I love you. and you are a child of mine. Continue to stay with me, stay close with me, be in a relationship with me through his son Jesus, and I will show you my wonders, and I will continue to provide for you, your family, in ways that you just won't even think can happen. But he will do it and provide.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about the future for Centerpoint. The downside is we're moving. That's always kind of a bummer for us. Is there's, obviously we're going to be breaking ground on a new building, which is extremely exciting, and we're going to have to watch that from a distance. We're not going to be able to be here firsthand. But the future is bright. And again, why? Because God is amazing, and it's the work that God does. And I would say, the thing that excites me about the future for Centerpoint, and I would encourage everybody with this, is when you drive by or you pull into the parking lot, even as the new building starts to be built, don't look at that and say, oh, well, look at what we're doing here, and we're doing so much amazing work here in Liberty Township, because that's not a big enough vision of what Centerpoint is all about. So what excites me about the future is that the impact that this church makes, and when I say church, I mean believers, not the building, it's not limited to the corner right here. There's state, there's national, and then there's global impact that this ministry is having. And it's not for any credit of anybody here. It is ultimately all that God gets the credit, that he's lifted up. And just like the Bible says that when Christ is lifted up, he will draw all people unto himself. So for us, our goal as believers, we just want to lift up Christ. Centerpoint, their future is bright, it's amazing, and the impact not only locally but around the world is going to be incredible. And I know we're excited to see what God does, and we're looking forward to it.